something beautiful, so enjoy. Evacuation procedure, we haven't got any visitors here, so I'm not going to go through it all, just to say stay in the car park if there's an emergency, and Mr. Brennan will tell you when you can be released. Okay, thank you. Apologies for absence. We have one apology from Councillor Sandra Smith. Any others?
Oh, I think he must be stuck in traffic.
So, Neil, yeah, so you're blamed us. Okay. Any disclosable pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest from anyone? Yes, moving on. No public participation. And we go on to the minutes of the meeting, which was on the 9th of March. Any comments or questions on the minutes? Okay, proposal from Byron to accept, seconded by Ray. All those in favour? I'll sign those. Yeah. Just so that before we get on to the agenda, I was a bit confused because I thought we had an extra paper. It's not an extra paper, so let me find where it is. Yes, it's on page 40, 9 of 1 or whatever it is you're looking at. And it actually says Appendix B. It's actually a report of what went to leaders on flooding, and it's part of the green space papers. So if you've got questions on it, you can ask questions, obviously, under the green space agenda item. But I was just being a bit, I thought it was a separate item. Yes. So it's
Thanks, Jen. Just for clarity, who's the leaders?
the leaders group.
Yeah, is it leaders of the councillors or council officers?
No, it's not officers, it's members. So it's David Wright and the chairs of the main boards.
Oh, right, okay, it's all right. Steve Stewart queried it because obviously he doesn't get an invite and he wondered if it was leaders of groups.
No,
Okay, thank you.
There are groups of that, I think, but this is the leaders group is I'm on it, and Caroline and David and Marty. Okay. Right, where are we now? Okay, thank you. So we've done minutes. So moving on then to agenda item 6, which is fly tipping. So you've got the report there. Andy, is there anything you want to say?
Thank you, Chair. Through you. Good evening all. Just wanted to mention the focus on the enforcement that we've been looking at over the last number of months. So in lieu of the good news from the previous cases that we've had heard at Birmingham Magistrates, we've got 2 further listings coming up in June, where on the one date we will have 3 cases heard, 6 defendants, and on another date, in fact it's the 15th and 24th of June. On the 24th of June we've got 2 cases being heard for 2 defendants. That's 5 cases in all. That's going to be heard in June, alongside obviously fixed penalties that are still being served, and also we're finding that now we're having the opportunity as well to begin chasing the non-payment of fines, which is something we're now able to do. So we're looking for working obviously with upstairs, the legal departments as well, with regards to that. We're starting to enforce the actual non-payment as well. That's all. The only other thing, Chair, I was going to mention, sorry, was the new signage that was mentioned. I think when I spoke about it last time, we'd just procured some new signage. You may see it now begin to take effect around the borough. Not only the hotspot signage, but scene signage as well. That we're deploying out at the scenes, where it shows obviously local residents that matters are being investigated. Thank you.
Can I just ask before I open it up to everyone, have we ever lost a case that's gone to court?
Not yet.
Right answer. All right, anybody else got questions? Ray, was it you? Yeah, Katie and then Andy.
Well, thanks, Jen. Looking at the number of cases, is there any single thing in the process that is slowing it down? Is, you know, is something that could be done, say an extra body in a certain position that would speed things up, or bottlenecks, whatever.
Through you, Chair.
Experiencing.
Well, Jack, who's now my colleague in enforcement, will hopefully ease that very question. I mean, up until now, it's been the demand coming in, and obviously just myself. So hopefully that will ease over the coming months.
Should say welcome, Jeff. Okay. But I take it you are our number 2 enforcement officer, yes?
Yes, Chair, I am. With obviously Andy as my tutor. Sorry, I was struggling through.
I'm sure you are.
Could actually say.
Still getting everybody called a number 2.
That's fine.
Is there anything in your background you'd like to tell us about before we go on?
Yes, so obviously my background, I similarly to Andy, we did work together previously before during your kind of final running the Raw Crime team. So I've been on the Berkshire Police Raw Crime team for about 3.5 years to this point. I was a staff member for the team, primarily dealing with crime prevention, but also was looking at engagement with public members, and as well as looking at obviously the thematic areas that the crime team cover, which of course included fly tipping. So it is not something that is new to me, and obviously from a policing perspective, I have knowledge there. It's a very exciting opportunity for me. I'm very, very grateful to be joining the team, and obviously I think this is my 4th week. So we're getting into the run of it now. I'm getting an idea for the what the pace is, and like Andy referred to earlier, I'm hopeful that we're going to get more efficient. We're going to be able to jobs a little bit, ease things around a little bit, so you can concentrate on this kind of really important cases. I can be out, and we can be, as I say, continuously proactive, which the team is already renowned for being. It's a really proactive team. It's a team that when I was in the police, we hear really good things now. So, that's a big part of it.
Welcome, very welcome. Thank you. Katie.
Thanks, Chair. Andy, sorry, I just wanted to ask, are we still noticing the same trends that the fly tippers are coming from outside of the borough? Is that still a thing?
Through you, Chair. Yeah, that is still prevalent, that they are coming from outside the borough. Again, mainly Birmingham area, but we have had some from Coventry lately. Although we are seeing also trends from within the borough as well. So it is mixed. I wouldn't be able to say whether it's actually reduced. I mean, that was something we'll look at in due course. It's a mixed bag, I think.
Thank you.
So I've got Andy, then Peter, then Major.
Thank you, Chair. I think you mentioned in the report of the drone, and I just wondered where, if anything's happening with that, and if so.
Thank you. Through you, Chair. Yeah, I appreciate the legs on this. It is taking a while, however, we are having obstacles thrown at us by the CAA as we urge forward with it. So we're now undertaking a further review of the operations manual, which in effect is its own policy. It's quite a thick manual, which we're responsible as an authority to have as we're operating. So we're back. We'd already got the ops manual, but we're now having to review that because of the new legislation that the CAA has brought in place. Alongside that, there's reviewed and renewed qualification that's required, which I'm undertaking in July. We have got an active pilot as we sit here now, but there's a new qualification that's come out, which I'll be, as I say, at the end of July, I'll be taking that qualification. And in terms of the website for NWBC, we're still finalising 1 or 2 matters with legal over the writing of especially the DPIA element of the drone. It's a scenario where it's an ever-changing format with the expectations of us operating it. So we're nearly there. I mean, touch wood, very nearly there.
So what do you mean by nearly? What do you think will be able to have it open?
I think I was asked this before and I think I failed on that sort of answer. I would like to think the ops manual, I have to say, isn't like an overnight scenario. I'd like to think certainly by within 8 weeks.
Thank you.
Peter.
Thank you, Chair. One of my questions has been answered, so thank you for that. I was interested on the Fly Tipping Friday, as it's called. Seeing that, pleasing to see that residents are engaging with that. Just wondered how successful that has been. And I take it this is on community Facebook pages around the borough, as well as as I noticed, it's on our app as well.
Thank you, through you, Chair. It does appear to be successful. Yeah, it is posted on Instagram, as you say, and on Facebook and other community areas. It seems to be shared a lot as well. We have had a conversation with comms in terms of how that works. At the moment, it works in somewhat as it will go out on our page, on our website, and they'll cover it by Instagram, and their anticipation is that everybody would look at that and share it from that platform. But it does appear to be doing well.
Excellent. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Chair. I was just going to ask Andy. There's obviously been a lot of Facebook following the latest conviction regarding residents being allegedly fooled by people that claim they've got licences. I'm just wondering if it's worth us doing any comms about that. Just, I know we've done it before, but just to sort of, keep that message going, because, and then linking that to what we've said before about the places that will take large furniture and things like that, that are bona fide, just to give them a bit of a list of who should be contacted. I know you can't advertise everyone, but just so that we're providing them with safer people, because then it kind of helps us wipe out that, area of, oh, we didn't know they didn't have a licence, and helps them out a bit. So thank you.
Can we have do we have a lookup on our web pages? Where can people check that whether people are officially licensed or whether it's a false license?
Through you, Chair. It is a difficult one. It's very much you can go online and look through the DEFRA / EA websites to see whether companies have got waste carrier licenses. The issues we've got in terms of education, a lot of the bigger tips that we suffer aren't local. So it's getting the message via Birmingham and the other authorities that border us. There's a lot of the cases that I have, that the individuals I find myself interviewing, they obviously have got no idea whatsoever of their responsibilities under the duty of care elements, and they end up getting fined. The reality around that is I'm obviously after the individual who they have hired, and invariably they can't give me that information. 9 times out of 10, they will have got it off Gumtree, they will have got it off Facebook Marketplace, all these kind of sites, or word of mouth. And surprisingly, they just can't go back to that and say, look, these are the guys we've used. Which leaves me with a couple of questions. Well, are you telling the truth then? Number one, but I can't prove what 9 times that they obviously fly tipped it themselves, but it's all evidence based, as we know. And B, the only other measure open is to serve them with either a fine or a caution. So it certainly is a message that's very important. We have put it out in the past. It's quite a regular occurring message around duty of care. So totally understand what you're saying, and I will speak to comms.
There's 2 issues there, and Emma's right, we need to get out so people understand their duty, but we have got issues where people are using false licenses. And if we could look into what on earth we can do to help people to, if they want to quick look up, so we can have a link on our website or something, that would be really helpful if you could do that. Thank you. Yeah, okay, so yeah, comes back on then I've got.
Thanks, Chair. I was just going to say, is there any way we could work with those bordering authorities then to sort of see if they're putting the message out as well? Or if so, can we work with them to share our comms? I don't know, just thinking if they're the offenders, that maybe you probably thought of this.
Okay, try that if we can.
Yeah, thank you, Chair, through you. I have reached out to some of the authorities are that big. It's quite difficult sometimes trying to identify the right person to have that conversation with. We've got the focus group tomorrow at Shire Hall, which are bringing all the officers together from the county to discuss these kind of issues. And it might well be some of the other officers or some of the areas might be able to give us instruction whether they know somebody. So that's the idea of tomorrow. So we might be able to take a step tomorrow in the right direction.
Thanks. Major.
Yeah, just about these 46 open cases. Is this because the offenders are disputing it? For how long does each case take? Is it not, if you got caught fly tipping, it's a straightforward fine? Not simple as that.
Could you tell by my face? Through you, yeah. So some of these cases have got over 50, 60, 70 actions. I.e. an action could be an inquiry, scene visit, etc., actual knock on the door. Very rarely are they straightforward. I wish they was. I think it's a rarity that they are. So the open cases are cases that are having either we're waiting for inquiries to come back to us, you know, from other forces or other the local authorities, or we're just literally looking at best evidence and where we're going to go with it. As I say, quite often it takes quite a while.
Time consuming as well.
Yeah,
Thanks.
generally.
Thanks, Chair. Questions for my information more than anything. So the caution, does it have the same sort of legal status as a police? Is it a police caution effect that goes onto your record, or is it a different?
Go ahead.
Okay, through you, Chair. No, it's not the same as a police caution. It's a local authority. We call it a simple caution. So it goes on our records. So if obviously they find themselves in front of us, then we look at other measures. We don't do that many of those, to be honest. It would depend on the circumstances.
Thanks. And my other question, two other questions. One, I've just seen an email that there's the consultation about the household waste centres, and the fact that we don't have to have appointments now. I think somebody asked the question in the last discussion whether that not having an appointment has reduced right. And it's sort of too early to say. Just wondered whether you've noticed any impact. I know probably because most of it's coming from the outside.
Please.
Through you, Chair. So I think in the last report, sorry, I wasn't here for the last meeting, but we showed the figures from before and after, and there was no difference in those. It's something that we continue to monitor, but I think, like you said, a lot of the times, if you want to go to a tip, you'll go to the tip and you'll do that. Most of the time, it's coming out outside the county, for the borough, so it just proves a bit more difficult.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks. And the last question was around licenses. So is it true that some of the people who are fly tipping do actually have a license so that they can show, I'm licensed, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're actually reputable. So that makes it really tricky, doesn't it?
Yeah, through you, Chair. So that's where we need people. So part of when you instruct somebody to come to your house to get this waste is to note down the business name and the number. So if you've got their details, and if they do show you a waste carrier license, there's a number that you can cross-reference with the EA website. And that number, if you've noted that down, you can go to the EA and say, if we get a prosecution against that person, you need to take them off the list. so that they're not on there anymore. So that is, we've done that previously with the case from, say, 2 years ago now. He had waste carrier license. I think it's the one that it went over socials. He got caught by two and he was on video. But that we do that, and that's something that we always want to pursue. But yes, that it does happen. But just note down the information. It's down to customers to note down as much as they can from the person, and that way we can get to the bottom of it.
So you can just take a photo, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, as simple as that.
So we may need to make sure then, I'll come to your own side. So we need to make sure in our communication about it's your responsibility, that we say to them, make sure you write down the name, the registration number of the vehicle might be helpful as well, and the license number, and any information you've got, keep it. So I think we need to make sure that's in the communication.
I know we've been talking about the larger people coming in, but trying to communicate to residents that they shouldn't be doing these sort of things. I know we can't do anything about anything that people leave on their drive, because that's still on their property. But certainly where I live, in a few of the places that I've seen where people hunk stuff out onto what is public property. I know that's technically fly tipping, and we get into semantics of that. But if we had imagine it like a yellow sticker that our bin men, because I don't want to get into arguments with people, if we just slap it on that, or someone go out and slap it on, take a photo of it with the household behind it, with a note just saying, hey, do you know where this is going? And also, we've noted it to your property. And we could put a smart water on it too. So we could find out that coupon. That's something we could potentially look at do to educate people and be a bit less willing to do that sort of thing straight off the back, pump it just straight out the back onto the pavement.
So you mean, like, so sometimes people put like a refrigerator out in front of the garden, is that what you mean?
I know we can't do it on their property.
Yeah.
They keep it on their property, but one place they dump it out onto the. It's fair game for us to at least stick something on and go, hey, we know you've done this, but are you playing by the rules? Just put, it's just a way of putting a sticker on it, isn't it? Just saying, we've seen it.
It's definitely worth looking into. I know somebody in Hartson put a mattress out on the pavement for weeks. I don't know if he thought it would just disappear like magic. Yeah, it's a good point, though. Yeah, thanks. And I would just like to say, could you think about, I'm into dashboards now, so like, I would like a dashboard to come. So we get on one side of A4, a picture of fly tipping. So if you can think of the KPIs that you work with every day and think about how you can put them on a piece of paper, so we can have it presented every time you give us a fly tipping report, so we can see at a glance how many cases have there been, has it gone up, has it gone down, how many are we able to action, what's the result of those that we've actioned, all the things that you do. That would be really helpful. Yeah, great.
Just a quick one for Andy. Is there any requirement for a waste carrier to display the licence on his vehicle?
Through you, Chair. Yes, there is. It's a legal requirement.
Because that's interesting. I mean, can't remember ever seeing one, but that is a legal. Yeah?
You wouldn't know what you're looking for. So
No, but I mean,
show you anything.
if it's a legal requirement, if you see vehicles going around picking up, inform yourself or something like that. The ones that look a bit sus, that they should actually display their licence on the vehicle.
They should, through you, Chair. Yes, that they are legally obliged to display it, and also produce it as well.
Yeah.
To an officer or police officer. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Any other questions? So we're only just asked to note that report, so we don't need to vote on this, unless you tell me you're not noting it. Right, so move on then to the smoke control areas consultation report. Are you doing this one there? You want to give them a quick introduction?
Thank you, through you, Chair. So yeah, this is, I know this report came to yourselves last time, and there was conversations about how there isn't enough comms about where these smoke control areas are. We've connected with the team and tried to push out more of that information. And this is a piece of work that DEFRA are pushing for us to do. And they've been trying to get borough-wide or get the consultations process out there. So it's borough-wide so that everybody knows what the rules are in their area, and everybody's playing to the same game, because right now, depending on the street that you're on, you might have restrictions, but your neighbour might not. So this is to try to put an even playing field for everybody. So yes, so it's for a consultation. The questions are in there. If you've got any questions.
Can you just be clear about what the government's asking us to do? I mean, if they're asking us to put smoke control areas across the borough, why are we consulting them?
So they're asking us to consult, but it's also the scope of that borough-wide. So does it include narrowboats? So certain areas, like Sandwell, had consulted on narrowboats, but they've not included it in there because of the consultation response. So it depends on what we get back. If residents and yourselves say to us,
Well, if residents say no, then the government's saying thou shalt, I don't think there's much point really, is there? Okay, I'll come on to the consultation itself in a minute if nobody else does. Okay, any questions? Ray? And then
I think there's a question that's been asked before. What happens about bonfires on allotments and places like that? Tend to cause quite a bit of distress to residents.
through you, Chair. So the smoke control area doesn't cover bonfires. It's specifically smoke from chimneys. So it's specifically that activity that it looks at. The bonfires and those kind of activities we've looked through statute nuisance legislation. So that's part of the work that our team investigates. So if there are any of those reports, we'd look into them.
But is that a bit, acting after the event, because they'll have the bonfire, it's gone, and then how do you act after that?
I understand the frustration on that, and it's just that's this bit of legislation. That's what that covers. But we kind of look into doing more comms on bonfires, and we can look into doing more active work on that, to make sure that people are aware that the implications of that, and to study
I
neighbours.
think if you look in North Warwickshire, there's quite a lot of allotment areas. Maybe contacting allotment associations, because the majority of them have got some sort of a structure within them where somebody is the lead person of a group of allotments. Whether they could be engaged to just tell them to play the game.
So I've got Peter and then Andy and then Steve.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Following on from Councillor Jarvis, when this came up some months ago, that's pretty much what I asked about, was a frustration about people not being able to do allotments. But a lovely summer's day, you're doing your washing or you open your windows and some bright spark thinks, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll burn off that rubbish I've got down the bottom of the garden. So immediately the clothes get taken in or doors get closed because some, without any thought, just lights a bonfire. And I'm still astounded there's still no control or thoughts on timings and things, even if it was through any government, that it should have been thought through about timings about. In fact, really, you shouldn't be burning stuff in your gardens anyway these days. So I'd welcome, look into that, please, as Councillor Jarvis has alluded to. One of the things I noticed on the Appendix A that talks about the smoke control areas, and I see I put in, see it go back to as far as 1975. But I was just saying, I was saying to Margaret earlier, or the church, should I say, that where do we have maps of these areas? Because I might have seen it and not realised that it must have been a while ago. But could we have copies that are shown all members of all the areas that are shown on Appendix A, so we as members know exactly where these areas are, rather. So we're asked by residents, we'll have a good idea. Thank you, Chair.
Through you, Chair. So yes, there's a website, a DECA website, that I can send the link around to everybody, where you essentially just put in your postcodes. So part of the comms that we've done is to share that link over the last couple of weeks. So you put in your postcode to see whether you live in the smoke control area. You can get that. So I can resend that out to everybody.
So just to quickly, Chair, if I put in my postcode, it would show my area. But I'm thinking of somebody who might live in Coleshill South, which I won't know their postcode, but I wouldn't be able to. How would I know
So we,
how the whole of Coldsall is covered, should I say?
yeah, so I can provide, we've got the CAD call player, so I can provide that.
Oh, lovely.
That specific, yeah.
Okay, thanks for that. Thank you.
Andy.
Thanks, Chair. I think Ray's already asked my first question, but on this list of 16 existing smoke control areas that we've got, I guess it would make sense to sort of combine them into one for the borough. But out of those 16, have we ever prosecuted or done anything against any of those?
Through you, Chair, to my knowledge, no, not whilst I've been here. That's been, I think, nearly 6 years, so not to my knowledge. I think for a lot of local authorities, it acts as more of a deterrent, but it also provides us with another bit of power when we do receive a small complaint. Instead of just being the Environmental Protection Act that we're working against, we can include the Clean Air Act as well. And that provides us with a bit more power to make an argument for somebody to adhere to the rules.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chair.
That just counts.
Thanks, Chair. My question was regarding the proposed consultation questions, and we discussed this in chamber a good few months ago. We weren't happy with the questions. Question 2 specifically was kind of quite scaremongering. Did you know breathing in smoke can result in health complications, including cancer, stroke, heart disease, and asthma? And we kind of asked you to review the questions and make it a little bit softer, I think we asked. So my question is, what changes did we make on the consultation questions from the last time that this was brought to us? Thanks, Chair.
Through you, Chair. So apologies on that, because I didn't know that was a comment from the last meeting. So I didn't know that we wanted the questions changed. I can definitely change them, or we can remove question 2 if that is something that you guys want to do. That's no problem. But yeah, we can definitely change those.
Well, I'll come in with my comments now, and I really don't see the purpose of these questions. They're a mixture of information and asking questions, and to what purpose? I'm really not at all happy with it. I do not want this consultation to go out in this form. So what I would suggest is that you work with me and the spokesperson from, I'm not sure, oh, sorry, from Katie. Right, you can come to Hartson. Me and Katie on this, and then we can circulate it to see what everybody thinks, because I don't even want to start on it because it's not good. So we need to be really clear about why we're doing this, what we expect to get back as a result of these questions, and how it looks from people who are out there wondering what on earth have they sent me this for. So okay, so we'll work together on it, and then I'll send it round everybody. But yeah.
And thank you, Chair. I completely agree with you. Sort of this idea of asking people if they know their stove is approved.
Yeah.
But if you know you haven't got an approved stove, then you use it regularly. You're not going to answer it, are you? So I mean, I think also, like, do you know that? This is no offence to, like, things like you just tried to fight some questions. Do you know if it creates injuries and things to your body? I think people know that, and what concerns me too is that people are going to be having a bonfire, or they're going to turn the stove on, and its neighbours and start panicking, because we have the flip side then, don't you, the immediate reaction. But it seems to be most of this sort of our air zones, a lot of this sort of started kicking it around, but when coal fires stopped being fitted as standard, didn't they, and started getting phased out by the council later on in some of the other houses, like in Woodend, where the coal fire had been phased out in the early 90s. So a lot of it's to do around that, as well as it's coal fires, that's what it's originally there for.
Yeah,
So it seems like it's extrapolated it forward to something else, when, I mean, I don't want to sort of come across it, it's like, I think we have to be worried about the car fumes, and putting more houses and cars on the road. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie.
Right, thanks, Chair. I do have to agree with the questions. They're sort of neither here nor there, and I'm just not sure what we'd do with the information from them. I mean, I didn't have a coal fire in my house when I was growing up because they'd been phased out by then. So, like Owen's just said, that's just what I wanted to pick up on. You don't want someone to have a smoke coming out of a chimney next door and then thinking they're going to have cancer, stroke, heart disease, or gain asthma. It's just worded a little bit strangely. And I think for the amount of people that we've got on canal or narrow boats, who would reply to the consultation, that gives them a whole question. I think it's a bit, it needs looking at. So I'm happy to do that with chair as well.
Thank you, that's great. So, no more questions, so therefore, we're just going to recommendations. We can note the reports, but then I think the proposal is that I work with the spokesperson and Millen to look again at the questions, and when we've agreed it, we'll send it round to everyone for their comments before it goes out. Okay, so that's the proposal. We've got a proposer, thank you, Peter, seconded by Byron, all those in favour? Very much. Very much. Good. So the next item is item 8 on food hygiene inspections and food hygiene ratings update. Is this you again, Ellen? Oh, sorry, no, sorry, Julie.
Julia.
Okay, welcome. And someone else who's not picked up the meeting before. Julie, just before you start, because I made the same mistake, and when we had our bit of a meeting before we came in, everybody else thought the same thing. We go on to page 16. At the top of the page, you've got categories there, and then further down at 3.2, you've got numbers. Now, I was really confused because I thought we were trying to do the same thing. Now, I now know, because I've spoken to Mr. Brown, who's the fount of all knowledge, that the category, that doesn't mean the same thing. So perhaps you could start by explaining what those two tables mean before we go into anything else. Thank you.
Yes, of course, through you, Chair. So when we visit a food premises, every food business is scored, and there's about 6 or 7 different categories. So we look at the types of food they handle, we look at consumers at risk, the numbers of consumers, we look at the processes, whether they do high risk processes like vacuum packing, we look at the food safety, the structure, the confidence in management, and any significant risks.
Sorry, but to interrupt, but that's not, you're not talking about looking at the hygiene at this stage, you're looking about the type of things that
well, we're looking at all those categories, and that gives you the overall score. So that then tells you whether you're a category A. So if the total score is 92 or higher, you're a category A premises, so you get inspected every 6 months. If you're a category B, you get inspected every 12 months. Then after that list of 6 or 7 scores, you look at the 3 scores to do with food hygiene, structure, and confidence in management. And it's those 3 scores that determine whether you're a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 for the food hygiene rating scheme.
But if you've got, so I understand that, so the type of establishment you are, more or less, defines how often you're inspected.
Yeah.
But also, if you come out as a 0 or 1, are you not inspected even more frequently?
Yes, so you're more likely to be an A or a B if you've got a lower food hygiene rating. However, that's not always the case because we've got about 30 Bs. So B sounds quite high because you're inspected every 12 months, but because a lot of the Bs can be care homes or children's nursery, and they have an extra score automatically added on because they're serving a vulnerable population. So their score automatically goes up by 20 straight away. So just because you're a B doesn't mean that you're poor. It could just be the type of food you're handling or the vulnerable population that you're serving.
So they got a fear.
Can I just explain?
Please ask a question.
What would be a category A then? Example, what kind of business?
A category A, that could be like, it could be a big manufacturer that's doing a lot of say vacuum packing. That could be distributing nationally or internationally. So you're looking at the higher end. So your scores are all going to be high because the population you're serving is more than just your local consumers. You're doing high risk processes, things like that.
So we've got a local sandwich factory. Where would they come?
They are, off the top of my head, I think they're actually an 18-month. I think they're a category C. They're
Gosh,
very
that's
good.
worrying.
Because even though they are distributing nationally, because their other scores are very good, it brings it down to a C.
Anybody else know enough to ask a question? Ray?
I'm easily confused. If I've got a business with a category A.
Yeah.
And Steve got one as business with a category E. Effectively, which is the better business? Is it the A's or the E's?
Through you, Chair. Generally, the E's tend to be your lower risk businesses. So your E's tend to be your shops, the people that are handling pre-wrapped food. So they're not handling any open foods. So they're of a lower risk.
I think you sum up this one. So you get a higher letter. If you make a mistake, you're not going to kill as many people as if you make a mistake with a lower letter. That's the best way to work it out, isn't it?
Through you, Chair. Yeah, category A premises are just your higher risk. So
Yeah.
all of the scores are of the higher level, whereas the E's are your lower risk premises.
But not to be confused with, when you see somebody's hygiene rating, it'll be 0 to 5 on the door or whatever they put it on. That's separate from the category of business they are. That's when they've been inspected. What does the inspector think they are? Are they good, 5, or are they bad, 0? So that's why it's confusing. I think we've got there. So is there anything else about your report? So it looks as if you're, oh, sorry, Steve, please.
Should use this or no? No, my question was back on your dashboards and things like that, and kind of where the numbers have changed over the years and things. So you presented this year's figures, but I don't know how that relates to last year or whether there's a trend and something we need to be looking at generally in the borough.
Yeah, through you, Chair. The food hygiene rating figures generally very sort of similar. It's difficult to do sort of a trend because you have food businesses closing, you have new food businesses open, so you're not always looking at the same. So to look at a premises and say, oh, they've improved from a 2 to a 5, or you can do that.
Still like to compare from
Yeah,
where we
you
were
can
last year and the year
certainly do
before,
that.
maybe.
You can certainly look at that.
Yeah, actually, yes, dashboards again, absolutely right. I think thinking about your KPIs, just knowing, it'd be good to know how many premises we've got that you have to inspect. That would be a good thing to know for a start. And which ones in each category, so you know how much work you've got to do. And then again, how many we've got to teach 5 to 0 ratings, and comparing it to last year. I know it may not be the same premise. I understand what you're saying, but anything else you think you can give us that's interesting on one side of A4, so we get just a glimpse of where we are with it. And you're telling us that you've got 100% on the high risk ones and down to 95% on the E's, because some of them are carried over. So something like that tells us whether you're on track to getting them all there. So and we would be worried if we had quite a lot of 0s or 1s in our area. So that would be good to know. Any other questions from anybody? I think we've all learned a bit today, so thank you. So again, a report just to be noted. If everyone's happy with that, shout. If you're not, okay. So playing strategy, and I'm doing this is the green stuff. Sorry, I'm going to its strategy.
Thanks, Chair. So you received a full report in January, but this was just an opportunity to update you on a few key points. So work at Mansetta and Ansley Workshop. Just wanted to take the opportunity to share the final designs with you in the appendix. So Mansetta work has started, and despite the break-in, is still kind of set to finish on time. Ansley, they've just approved the contractor, so we're good. The road is also nearly finished at Mansetta, so this is the road that takes you from the car park up to the copse by the pavilion, and then the footpath that takes you to the K barrier and the pavilion. Just to note that there's some work at Riverside to create a new local nature reserve. The artist that's creating the entrance has worked with local school kids to pick the animals that are going on there. So that was a nice, fluffy piece of work. Also detailed in the appendix is some information on the projects going on at River Cole, to make it better for the wildlife and habitats. And then also at full council, members allocated some money towards flooding prevention and support. So the appendix that you mentioned at the start of the meeting outlines the process that we're proposing, and we're asking for that to be endorsed. If it is, you'll get an email with a request for sites where you know that there's an issue. We'll then go away and risk assess and kind of cost all up as detailed in the appendix.
Thank you. Questions, anyone? Katie? You?
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you.
I've just got a couple, so I've got a couple of statements. Firstly, has the access been sorted out at Anstey, the public right of way question? Because I know Councillor Jackson will have my guts if I don't ask that question. It did set up a few issues with the community that they couldn't have access to it, and the residents of Anstey buildings. Secondly, I'd love to see Aberstone Town on here. I like with the improvements, but that's just a statement. But the flooding, I think it's brilliant that this council has done this. We've all got flooding problems. I just wanted to put it on record that county is the lead flood authority, and I hope that we are not in a situation like Nuneaton are. Nuneaton Council have put a few suggestions for, you know, borough councillors are hyper local. We know that exact flooding problems in our areas. Nuneaton Council, the Conservative and the Labour group together put in some suggestions and took it to county, and they put an awful lot of work in with their officers. And county just published a letter online on Facebook saying, no, we're not doing this, what you've asked for. We haven't got the money. So I'm just hoping that this isn't a huge, you know, waste for our officers and for us as a council to be coming up with these great ideas. County just to kibosh it. What else was I going to say? Oh, and well done on Anstey buildings. It looks great, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll come back on that, Chair. So the right of way at Anstey, so it is written in that they will have to have public access to that ground. It is a public, public rec. So that will be written into their lease. It already is, but that will be confirmed. And regarding the flooding, so the idea is that we use the funding that you've allocated as leverage to work with county. Obviously they are the flooding authority, but hopefully this will give us a little bit of wiggle room in terms of what we can achieve where it's most important.
Thank you.
Ray.
Thanks, Chair. There's two things. Firstly, going on to the flooding, Environment Agency are a big part of this. But wherever you see flooding, it's usually around a river or something like that. And it's usually associated to the lack of dredging and clearing foliage, whatever, that blocks the rivers up. So can we, when we're looking at this, actually raise it with the Environment Agency? Because yes, county it don't flood, but you know, they're 30 odd mile down the road. You know, they don't see what happens up in North Warwickshire. But the Environment Agency does have an absolute responsibility of maintaining rivers, you know, to ensure that they don't get them up. So could the Environment Agency be part of it, or we rattle their cage so they're part of it and know that we ain't just sitting down saying this, that we want them to do what it says on the box and maintain their facilities.
Yeah, for you travel for rattling cages.
Yeah.
And part of the scope exercise is to determine whose responsibility it would be to maintain the issue. And then, like I say, we'll work with you, whether it's whether it's county council, whoever it is, to resolve that issue.
And the second issue is, as we've raised before, Councillor Clues himself went up to Ridgeline, and to say it's disgusting is a little bit of an understatement. The quality of the work up there is appalling. And if it was me, I wouldn't pay because it is that bad. And, you know, even the laying of the turf, when we was up there, the turf just looked like the old fashioned coconut matting that had been just chucked on the ground.
To respond on that.
Becky.
Yeah, I mean, so through you, Chair, we're well aware of the issues and we're trying to keep members updated as much as we can. We have had significant issues with the surfacing at Ridge Lane. We've appointed a contractor who specialises in landscaping now. So the actual equipment, there's no issues with it. In terms of the play equipment, it's good. It's been inspected. It's literally just the surfacing that we've got huge issues with. We've partially opened the site so that the residents weren't left without any play facilities. It's not ideal, and I've kind of given up the excuses for them, but we are trying to resolve it as quickly as we can.
Have you got any timescale?
They are meant to be starting on the 1st of June.
I'm finishing it.
There you go.
Finishing.
Oh, 3 days.
Oh, no.
3 days good for work, so it should be during that week.
Thank you.
They're going to water it.
Yes, yeah, we've got a contract with County Council. We're going to do all our watering for us. So we've got the 2 contracts that will run at the same time.
Andy, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. 4.2. I'm just interested in a bit more information about the attempted land grab. I've heard a bit of chatter amongst colleagues, councillor colleagues about it, but I don't really know any of the details. So I'd like to know a bit more about the sort of, and what, you know, what is the land used for at the moment? So is it just barren land? What is it about it that sort of attracted, you know, possible land grabbing? And is there anything we can learn from it for the future?
Yeah, through you, Chair. It was completely random one. I've never had anything like it. It's a bit of housing land. It's vacant. It's overgrown. There's nothing on it. It's got a lot of unsupervised supervision with the surrounding houses. And someone went and put a sign on it to say this is private. Keep off. They changed our lock. They went in and did a lovely job clearing it. Mind. But yeah, so we've changed the locks. We put on our own sign. And managed to find the website through which this person was doing these land grabs and advertising it as we can get you land.
And are we prosecuting them or taking any action against them?
No, because it didn't go any further. So as soon as we'd kind of made contact, it all stopped.
The company has been reported to training standards. It's actively advertising not only through the website but also on other social media sites. If there is a piece of land, they'll help you grab it.
Great.
Sponsors' rights.
Make sure your garden gates have got locks on it. Right, Emma, thank you.
Thanks, Chair. I was going to say to Becky, we would really welcome your support on our flood group in Polesworth because we've set up an interagency one, and the Borough Council would be welcomed to sit at that. I was going to also respond to Ray because we've worked tirelessly as a heavily flooded area, as you can imagine. It's not as straightforward with Environment Agency because, for example, the River Anchor, which causes our problem just off Bridge Street, the Environment Agency doesn't actually own either side of the part that gets the worst part, let's say. So we've got a resident that owns one side and the borough actually owns the other. So I'll be quite pleased to get borough representatives on our flooding group because that'd be really good. In regard to dredging, the fact that it hasn't been dredged has actually helped us because it acts as a dam. So sometimes it's not always the answer. If it was dredged regularly, apparently that would have caused even more flooding. So it's not always that answer. What we think is more of an issue is the fact that 3 different agencies own the 3 offending drains that obviously the area floods into, and they're not cleaned and looked after and maintained at the same time. So if they were in sync, and this is something that we're working towards, if they were actually cleaned and maintained in sync, that would help with some of the ongoing issues we believe. But as I say, we've been down the route of trying to get things dredged and Environment Agency and all that, and it's not always that straightforward. So, yeah, but we would welcome some support on the group. So if we could have a named officer that would like to come, I don't know, that would be great.
Yeah, it is, through you, Chair, I'll nominate Keith Evans and,
Brilliant. In his absence.
next week.
Good, thank you, that's brilliant.
Because we know how bad it is in Coleshill when it comes. So hopefully, up to you. Right, I've got Peter now.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is just more of a comment, if I may. First of all, so pleased to see talk about the wooden carving archway with local school children, etc. We actually have a carving archway actually in our nature reserve, but sadly over time the varnish is worn off and then it's got hit by graffiti. But I'm pleased to say that Eleanor Evans is helping me with getting that cleaned up and put in back, because it was actually done by the Coleshill Academy School children, so get that back in. And equally, it's good to see the River Cole or Park End River registration, because that's been ongoing for quite a while. I'm pleased to see that the work there starts in August, and that will, for Councillor Jarvis, that with the meandering, etc., and a lot of work that's going on in the River Cole through Cole End Park will certainly reduce flooding in our area, and that will be very helpful. And I have to say as well that the Environmental Agency have been very helpful with me to get a lot of debris coming down from Birmingham, Chelsea Wood, and it all gathers up around the Cole End Bridge. So they're always very good at helping to reduce any of that as well. So that's good news for me in Coleshill North and for Coleshill, that the park's being looked after in a great way by the council and by the Wildlife Trust as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If there's no more questions, then the recommendations are first to note the progress, and also that the proposal for the flooding prevention and support is approved. So that's the paper at the back. Proposal for that, please. And Sarah, seconded by Peter. All those in favour? Any against? Yes. Lovely, that's gone through. So now we've got right treat to talk about rubbish. Thank you. So this is for you, Andy, as we do this, right? So this is simpler recycling. It's anything but simple, but there you go.
Yeah, so thank you to the chair. Just want to give an update on the slides that we sent out to the simple recycling the members working group. The main point of the slides was about the food waste collection service, and now we plan to roll that out, both starting with the trial and then the main rollout. Before we can actually issue any dates for the trial and the main rollout, we had to make sure first of all that we got all the vehicles, liners, caddies, and staff all lined up. All the vehicles have now arrived. We've got all 5 vehicles in our depot, along with all the liners that we're going to issue, which should allow the caddies to be, the indoor caddies to be lined for the first 12 months at least. Where we have had issues is about the supply of the caddies. We've had numerous delays where we've had production issues, we've had fire at the factory, one of the factories and everything else. But I'm pleased to say now we've got all of the all the 5 litre caddies in stock, and we've got our first delivery today of the 5 litre caddies with the 23 litre caddies. We'll get the caddies in the right way around, and the rest are now scheduled before the end of this week. So what that has enabled us to do now is to set dates for both the trial and the main rollout. So the trial is due to start on the 1st of June for about 750 properties. We've looked at 10 members areas for those trials so that we can have member feedback as well on how the trial gets rolled out. And we've worked with our comms team on producing letters, leaflets, and all the necessary comms that we will have on the website and the app and everything else for that. And we'll start delivering those caddies towards the end of this week, so that everyone will have the caddies a week in advance so we can fill the caddies up before we start collecting on the 1st of June. We're also planning then the main rollout from being the 6th of July, where we'll roll out to the rest of the 29,000 properties plus around the borough. So that's what the current timetables are are for that rollout. And like I say, we've got all the staff in place, all the in-house CAD software that we need to support that. So we feel we're in a good place now to start the rollout. At the same time, we're also going to roll out what we call a small WE and battery collection service. WE stands for Waste Electronic and Electrical Equipment. So that's anything from your kettles, your irons, toasters, anything up to a 4-slice toaster. We'll collect if people want to put them in a bag and put them at the side of the food waste bin or food waste caddy. We will then collect them at the same time. We'll also, as part of that, collect the lithium-ion and normal batteries as well. And what we're hoping by introducing that collection service is that we support what you already see in supermarkets and everything around the place. And it means we've got less risk then of having any more vehicle fires, which we've experienced 2 of in the last couple of months. So again, we've got all the leaflets and everything ready to be sent out for that. The rest of the information that we provided for the Simple Recycling group was about a couple of initiatives that we were hoping to look at in the autumn, which is to have a look at the amount of unauthorised bins we've got out there, where we're collecting more than one residual waste bin from people's property, and how we can look at reducing that number to help with the environment. And secondly, a review of our assisted collections. Both of those reviews will come about when we present the new updated waste collection policy in the autumn. I just want to give the group a flavour. The sort of things we're looking at where we can tighten up our management of the waste that's been presented by the residents, and also in the city collections, how we can support the residents as well. In terms of KPIs and dashboards, we will have a full range of these for the food waste rollout, where we can tell you how many households are participating, what the average yield of food waste we're getting per property per week, and what the level of contamination is, and methods and all the rest of it. So we're hoping to provide you with a full suite of information there, so we can compare that against our performance, what we currently do for residual bins, recycling and garden waste. I think we've already talked about the comms, that we're working with the comms team. And then the last thing to just to mention is just to hand over to my colleague Evan, who's going to talk to you about the residents app that we talked about, the Simple Recycling.
You're going to demonstrate that. Feel free to do what you do. Just while Evan's doing that, can you just make it clear whether we are we giving boxes to put the batteries in, or are people putting them in bags?
So what we're doing first of all as part of the trial, we expect people to put them in the bags where the batteries in the small WE, but we're going to trial a number of the battery holders which flip onto the side of the caddy, and then we can get feedback from members and people in the trial just to see which is the most effective. Of course, before we order a full amount, but we're definitely going to try the battery container, which will hang on to the food waste caddy at the same time.
Okay.
So we'll trial the 2 methods and then get the feedback.
Just on the comms, can you make sure that you make it clear what the box is for?
Yes, absolutely.
That's Katie.
Can I just ask one question on that? Sorry, I have been communicating really well because I'm part of the rubbish group, top student. I did show some of our it was our parish council, a photo of the battery bins. Not the battery bins, sorry, the bag with the batteries in. Because I'm collecting some, my husband needs, I've got like a new thing, I'll pull out shelf where all the batteries live now. I'm ready to go. Do they have to be in a clear bag?
No, they don't have to be in a clear bag. No, any bag, because what we'll do is we'll separate them when we put them onto the container, that we still them on.
Brilliant.
All we ask is that the bag is secure, so we, it can't blow over and all times.
Give the lot.
Yeah, absolutely, just scale them tight.
Wicked. That was my one question. I was on the night. That's going to be my question of the night. So
We'll sort it out when we put that on the container
brilliant.
on the vehicle. If you look at we've got actually one of the slides show you batches and small separated.
Yeah.
When we transport it.
Yeah, that's the next one. That's the next photo down on the presentation. But I'm ready to go, guys. It was worth inviting me onto that board.
Thank you. Over to you.
Brilliant. So hopefully a few of you have downloaded the current residents app. What I'm just going to show you is the new look. So we've got a new version of the app ready to release, and we're just sort of seeking your permission to do so. So it looks completely different, essentially. So previously there's just tiles with different services that are on offer. So at the top, we've got the option to share the news from our website. And we can also pin that so that we can sort of
one of the feedback, I think it was from yourself, Margaret, was that when we've got key things happening in the borough, we want to make sure that that's what residents are seeing, so we can actually pin the news stories. As you can see at the top there, there's the it's about the Britannia Mill, so we can pin any news story there that you can see. The second bit, which is the cool bit, the bit that I like anyway, is recycling made easy. So we've got a little bit of AI in the app itself. So I can take a photo here of this plastic bottle. Everybody can see it's a plastic bottle and everybody knows it has to go in your red bin. But there might be some more difficult items, and it tells you there which bin to put it in. So this is a database, so you can take photos of lots of different bits of rubbish and it'll tell you which bin to put it in. So hopefully we'll like that. It is still a what they call a beta testing, so or beta testing, sorry, yeah. So it's not perfect, but it will sort of find most things. If it struggles, it will just return no items. Got the favourite next bin collection. So before you saw more like a screen of the next 3 collections there, which is sort of what happens is you click 3, but it just tells you your very next bin collection, so you don't get that. Your local councillors. Sorry, I've got an address from Atherstone saved in here at the moment, so I live outside the borough. And you've got the popular forms there. So at the moment, these forms do go to our website. So fly tipping, we've had fly tipping. This will load our webpage at the moment, but we can, with the new app, develop forms within the app, so it will sort of keep the look and feel of the app. We'll have to work out how those things tie together.
Can you put photos in the fly tipping?
Yes. So, I'm just trying to see where the photos.
So, maps as well.
Yeah, we've got maps. So we could put a test one in.
I just tried that, Chair, while we're here.
Oh, yeah.
While I was listening, I was doing a fly tipping report and
I could ignore that.
I think, yeah, here
so how it works. And the pin, that was good.
So you drop a pin on a map where the fly tipping is, and you say what it is. So just where I think. The next page, no. So really just trying to prove that is there, because I know that's been a question before.
Yes.
So just answer the questions to let me get to the next bit. There you go. So I don't know if you can see there, it's popped up, send us a photo here. So press that button. And I can either use my photo library or take a photo of the same bottle. That will then attach itself. You can see there to the form. So we can put that through. I won't put that through because otherwise Andy's going to have to come and investigate this tomorrow, isn't he? So go back to that.
Actually, when I did mine, because of where it is, it's just off the dual carriageway, so I couldn't actually stop and take a photo of it. So I did a Google. So I sent the Google map.
Yeah,
that's through to Andy.
which is actually that where we've dropped the pin on the map. It's actually a Google map that does that for us. Yeah. Then a little bit on the socials. For those people that are more familiar with the tile view, this is the new look tile view. So these are the tiles that sort of used to live on the initial screen there. So you've still got like the traditional way to find things if that's something that people want to do. But yeah, just wanted to show you that, and then just seek your permission actually to run the update.
Do it.
Takes about a week for the update to run through, so we have to get permissions from the different app stores and Google Store, but we can sort of roll it out within a week.
Move that. Right. Anybody objecting to that?
Will this automatically update the ones that we've got on our phones?
Yes, that's yeah.
There's no need to re-download anything. It just does it itself.
So nobody has to do anything. So when we roll the app out, it will sort of slowly release. Sort of, let's say it doesn't do everybody all at once. It's sort of over a week. It will update, or it will send a notification to your phone to say new version of the app, and then it will update.
Steve.
Thanks, Jack. Nothing to do with the app. The app looks absolutely fantastic. It does look like it's going in the right direction. Just back to the recycling. And it's all fantastic, all these things are, but there's a group of people that have already said, I don't want it. Do not give me a bin. I do not need more bins. There are people saying, how do I request not to have one? It is there any consideration for that, or does everybody get one and they can request it to be collected again? Because they've obviously got a value, and if people really do not want one,
Yeah.
then we don't need to be spending the money and giving them one, right? As much as we'd like them to use it, there are some people that really are quite adamant that they really don't want to.
You're absolutely right, there are. Get the mic.
However, no. It's a statutory requirement. We separate that waste. There will be a point in time when the waste disposal authority refuses to accept our waste. It hasn't been segregated in the way it's set out within legislation. So everybody will have a bin. Everybody will be encouraged to use that bin. Everybody will be further encouraged to use that bin. And at some point, I'll have to say no to along with somebody else here. Just we have no choice but to look at separating our waste, not material. It is important. It does help reduce some of the impacts that we have out there, like climate change. It changes the impacts that we have around some of that waste if it ended up in landfill. It's so important that we try to encourage that. I do understand we're going to have resistance, but that's now down to the hard work of officers and members to try to encourage residents to participate. We may even develop a league table to show which wards are doing better.
Yeah, what I worry about is contamination, because a lot of the food that's currently in the residual bin is in its original packaging. You know, it's gone out of date. Maybe it's a microwave meal. They just throw it away. Are they going to separate it, put the food in the food bin, and So I'm as sceptical as you. It's something we have to do, so we've got no choice. Some people will just refuse to present their bin, and they'll be using these bins in their garden for all sorts of stuff, or I don't know, or giving them away. And what can we do except for the later? I absolutely agree.
The planter.
So, yeah. Did you want to come back, Steve? Sorry, I thought. Steve, did you want to come back?
No, Chair, that's fine, thanks. I did have one more question on the collection of the wee articles and things like that. It just seems like people are just going to be putting random items out just in the street by the bins, toasters and irons, and is that the plan, that we're just going to be just putting random items out? Hopefully they'll get collected.
They will get collected. They are supposed to put them in a bag, but any bag, just carry a bag. But the size is important. So the biggest is a 4 slice toaster. That's the size. You're not putting your refrigerators out. The things that I'm concerned about again are things that have got lithium-ion batteries in. So basically, anything you can charge at home has got a battery in it. So children's toys, and you can't get to the battery a lot of the time because unless you've got a screwdriver or a hammer or something, you can't get to it. So I assume they can put those out as like electrical items. You can just put them out on the road. Is that right?
So through you, Chair. Yes, you can put up small toys out there. We just use the 4 slice toasters as sort of size comparison. But for example, Swan Prouter car battery, this Swan Prouter refrigerator. But what we'll do, we'll have some stickers then to say this doesn't meet, the requirements of the collection service, and we can look at putting a barcode on to put some advice on where to go for that. But you're quite right, it's what we class as small electrical equipment, and the batteries. It's not meant to be a disposal service for fridges and anything what's non-household.
Yeah. I've got Katie, Peter, Ray, and Major. Right, off you go.
Thanks, Chair. I just wanted to say, Evan, the app looks great. As far as I'm concerned, you can press the button on it. The AI, like, who would have thought North Warwickshire Borough Council is in the full-on AI era? I think it's brilliant, and there are loads of things that I'll Google, like how can I get rid of this? Where's this going to go? Can it go in my recycling bin? I just wanted to ask, while you're here, have you got a bin handy, just so that everybody else can see it? Because I know we bought it last time, a caddy handy, so everybody can see what it looks like. Because I felt the same as you did, Steve. I was that resident who was saying, I'm not having another bin. So Mike said, if your attitude is going to be like that, you can join the board and learn some more about it. And the more I've learned about it, the more excited I am for it. So I think it's our job, and as a result of that, I learned other things like that the council collects bulk waste for a small charge, but it goes to charities that work with homeless people. And when I posted that on my community group, people didn't know stuff like that. So and we pushed that out on the socials as well. The council pushed it out on their socials, and it had a really good reception on Hartshill residents group, that people were like, do you know what? I am actually going to have to pay for this bulky waste, but it's going to get upcycled now by someone who's struggling, and it's working with this charity. So the more, I think education's key. It's a fact that it will be easier for those with children to do it. Like the images that we got from the kids were brilliant, weren't they? Michael Drayton's were particularly impressive, weren't they, Margaret? Our school in Hartshill. Those who've got children, they'll go for it, because the kids do it at school anyway. The kids are already bought in. We've just got to get everyone else behind it. And the more we learn, the more excited we'll be about it. It's not just a rubbish group, it's pretty good.
Just before I bring the rest of you, just so you know, when you see our new vehicles, they will have lovely wraps on, and these are things that children have drawn at school. We've selected 5, was it 5, and the children's names on the van as well, and you'll be able to see there some of their pictures are lovely. So yeah, so we look forward to that. Right, where am I, Peter?
Yes, I was hoping beyond that, because I'm all for the recycling and stuff, and somebody else is on it in our place. Never mind. Okay. Yes, I would agree with Katie that AI is brilliant, and a lot of information from ChatGPT, Google, Gemini, and Copilot. And I love the idea of the batteries as well, because I'm always forgetting to take mine down to Aldi, put it in their plastic container. Interesting thing on the, again, pleased about the small electrical collections. I'm just wondering what happens to those particular kettles and etc. Because in fact, it was my wife that told me today that she found out today that at Asda you can take lots of these things where they're even with the plugs on, and then they refurbish them and then send them out again. Is that happening with us, or they're just being recycled?
So what we will do is we will take them from each vehicle, take them back to the depot and collate them together then, and it will go part of our contract with the council then, the county council to dispose of, and then those will go towards recycling the small weeds.
And then get sent out potentially for being reused, but as to send them off to somebody who will actually check them all over and send them back.
So I think the more go to be recycled as the metals rather than to reuse the products again.
So it's going to be scrapped then, basically.
Just before we carry on, that's the caddy for the inside.
So this is the 5-litre caddy, which will go in people's. It's designed to go in people's kitchens. You put the liner inside that and fill it up to the amount you want. Then you take it outside, put it in your 23-litre caddy, which stays outside. The caddies have got locks on them as well, so that you can lock them to keep the smells down, and also so they don't attract vermin. So that if they were knocked over, they don't automatically go, because you can have them locked in an unlocked position. That's the 5-litre caddy that's going to go into people's properties.
So I take it that through you, Chair, those pretty much the same as the original grey ones that we've.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not great, obviously.
Okay, thank you. Ray?
Just one about the bins and people saying no way. I can recall exactly the same thing when the red bins and the green cuts bin come out. They said, we don't want them, we don't want them. Over a period of time, people get used to them and use them. I mean, I think certainly down our way, there seems to be more recycling done now than black bins. And it's one of these, it's a natural thing. Oh, I'm not having another bin, am I? That makes 4. But over a period of time, people see the benefit of it and, just change their view. And the other comments, with the small electricals, could this encourage people like the unauthorised waste collectors to, to try and beat the waste wagon round and collect ladders. If that's something that, so if it becomes a problem, we can deal with.
Anybody
That
want to
looks
answer
like-
that? Is there any evidence from elsewhere?
Can we start with the notice?
You can start.
So, with regards to your first question, I think you're completely right. It's something that we've got to work on the arts and minds, through you, Chair, the arts and minds of everybody. But we've employed 2 recycling officers now. And if we know that there's any areas where the participation is particularly low, we can send them out to do some targeted, comms in that area, knocking on doors and doing some engagement with the residents. The other big peer pressures, which we've already talked on, is about the children. If we can go through the schools and start the education there, and they go home then and talk to the parents at home and put them under pressure, we can sort of look at the problem from from all angles. So increased engagement using the recycling officers, working with the children, and our comms as well, getting constant comms out on this subject. We won't win overnight, everyone, but we can keep plugging on their numbers and keep doing it. In terms of what you just said about scrap metal merchants and everything, collecting them, well, they'll be in the bag so they won't actually see them. I haven't really seen any evidence anywhere else nationally where I've been involved where people are going ahead of the crews to collect it, because bear in mind our crews start quite early on in the morning. But again, if we did find out that was happening, we could work with colleagues to stamp that out. But at the moment, I don't think it's an issue that's been experienced nationally, to my knowledge. I'm not saying it hasn't happened anywhere, but it's not a big issue. Is what I'm aware of.
My thing is just be aware of it.
Yeah.
That if it does happen, we ain't got to wait for, I don't know, say 3 months for it to come in. We've got something we can drop into place, fairly rapidly to nip it in the bud.
It's not point in something we'll keep on the careful.
Thank you. Major.
I'm just going to say this trial run's going to start in a couple of weeks. Have the residents been informed? Because no one seems to be talking about it. And is there going to be a cost to it eventually? Will there going to be? Is there a cost to it now?
So, through you, Chair, if I can answer the question one at a time. So, as I mentioned right earlier, we've had real issues up to yet on guaranteeing when the caddies will arrive. So we've got the caddies now. We're going to get the comms out for the 700 properties. 700 properties will have a letter posted out to them tomorrow, and Thursday and Friday this week they'll have both caddies, and within the caddies will be all the leaflets involved for the trial properties in terms of information about your collection date, what you can put in the small week collection, and what you can recycle in your food waste bins and more of it. That will all go out this week, which is a week in advance of giving them then to fill up, to use the caddies and fill up with the food waste before we start collecting on the 1st of June. What we've got to be really careful on in the comms is for the trial, is that we just do it targeted for the trial. Because if we put something out on the website about it, people again think it's about the main rollout. So the idea is that we do targeted comms for the trial, which goes out this week. And then for the main rollout, we'll do blanket comms then in the month before the 6th of July. So we've purposely kept the comms for the trial properties, but the comms for the main rollout will go out in the month before the main rollout.
Is that one of the? Is Addison North? It's not one of the areas, is it?
So you've got a list of
We already don't even know, so we will have to.
Yeah.
We'll get questions asked.
Got, sorry. Is that one of the areas? It's one of the areas, Croftfield in Charlotte's Road. It's Croftfield.
We could have a bit of information as well beforehand.
Yeah, so we've got amendments. We've got members updates information email to go out tomorrow, which will give you a copy of the letter and all the various leaflets that are going out. But as I said before, we haven't had confidence until today that we're actually getting the caddy deliveries. We've had so many delays in anticipated dates that haven't been met, and we have actually physically got the caddies now for the trial. So this week you'll have all the information that the residents will get as a member of that ward.
Well, just one more thing was, I mean, I don't know how heavy that little bin is. If it's a sort of a windy day or something, it'll be flying about down the road.
Sorry, through you, Jack. This is the indoor caddy.
Oh, it's indoor.
This is the indoor 5 litre caddy. The 23 litre caddy is obviously. And in regards to the comments about the cost of the service, the costs have been met through the government for the rollout of the service.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so thank you for that. And thanks for your comments on that one. So there isn't actually a recommendation on here, but I'm going to propose that we recommend that the app is rolled out, so that's formal, and that we note the progress of the pilot and the main rollout of food waste. Okay, thanks. Proposed by Pete, seconded by Major. All those in favour? Thank you very much, everybody. So we're just moving on to P&C. We've got everybody here, but to consider the weather in the course section 100 days or of the local government act 1992 and press excluded from the meeting for the following items of business on the grounds that they involve the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined by Schedule 12A to the Act. Opposed, please. Thank you, Baron. Seconded by Katie. Those in favour? Thank you. We just had the exempt minutes from the 9th